Hello and welcome to your yoga practice. We're going to start in a constructive rest lying down on your back. When you lie down on your back, keep your knees bent, feet wider apart so that your knees can rest against each other. Take a few wiggles to nicely spread your shoulder blades on the ground and feel comfortable. And then bring your hands on each side of your rib cage. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And bring your awareness to your breath. Keep your belly relaxed. Noticing as you inhale the coolness of the air entering through your nostrils, into your throat and into your lungs. And then as you exhale from your lungs, throat and mouth or nose. Inhaling nose, throat, and lungs. Exhaling from your torso, throat, and mouth or nose. And next time, as you inhale, feel your ribcage expanding under your hands. And then as you exhale, feel the sides of the ribcage coming down and together. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, drawing together. And we will add a little activation, knowing that my guidance is indeed a guidance, and maybe the pace of your breath is a little faster or slower. So as you inhale through your nose and into the throat, into your lungs, your ribcage expands. And then as you exhale, perhaps through your mouth, actively draw the belly in and the ribs together. Core activation. And again, inhaling, expansion. Exhale, draw it all together and in. Feeling the middle back pressing into the ground. Inhale and expand. Exhale, draw in, press down. And one last time. Inhale, invite nourishment in as you expand. Exhale, letting go. Drawing your ribcage together in and pressing your middle back down. And release. Beautiful. Bring your arms along your body, feet closer together, hip distance apart. And we're going to start with our asana practice. Still focusing on our breath throughout the entire practice. Know that you can exhale through your mouth anytime to reset. As you inhale, lift your arms up and overhead and bring your legs up towards the sky, reaching through the heels. As you exhale, bend the knees and bring the arms back down. Inhaling, arms up and overhead, legs up towards the sky, reach through the heels. Exhale, release back down. Moving with your breath at your pace 3 more times. Inhaling as you lift your legs and arms up. And exhaling as you bring them back down and release. Bringing nourishment in as you inhale, pressing your middle back down into the ground. And then as you exhale, release. One last one, dear soul. Reach up to the sky with your feet, with your heels and arms overhead. And exhale, release, bring it back down. We're going to bring the arms up towards the sky and keep your legs open, about 90 degrees angle. Perhaps feet flexed. We're going to inhale here. And then as you exhale, draw the ribcage in. press the middle back into the ground. Inhale again, but keep this contraction. And then as you exhale, right arm and right leg draw away from each other. You can keep your knee bent. Press your middle back down. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, the opposite side, drawing away from each other. Your back is pressed into the ground, abdominals active, and back. Exhale, right side. Maybe you can stretch that leg unless you take that into your middle back. Your middle back should not be hurting. And then we draw back as we inhale. And with exhale, the opposite side. Knee bent or straight, you can give it a try. See how your body reacts. And then adjust and do what is wise for you today. We take 2 more on each side. Right side, as you exhale. Draw back together. A nice controlled movement, as if you're working against resistance. And the left side. Yeah. Coming back to center 1 more time on each side. Inhaling here and then exhaling. Extend. Shaking is fine. Drawing back together. And the last one. Yeah. Reach through your toes, reach through your fingertips, and come back to center. Well done. Release. Take a breath here. Know that you are always invited to exhale through your mouth, make a sound. Now open your arms a little wider. Lift your legs up, squeeze the knees together, or you can even bring a prop in between your legs, such as a book or a block. And we'll be taking the legs from one side to the other, working the side of our core. So as you exhale, drop your legs to the right. And maybe you will not make it all the way down to the ground. That's okay. Just keep your core working. And then inhale back to center. And exhale over to the opposite side. Feel free to look away from your legs. And back to center. Over to the right. Maybe look to the left. Back to center. And over to the opposite side. And back to center. 1 more time on each side. As you exhale, drop your knees to the right. Feel your core working. Guiding your knees there. And then back to center. And the last one to the opposite direction. And back to center. Well done. Hug your knees to your chest. And we're going to rock ourselves up to seated. So take a few here, if that feels comfortable for your back. Giving yourself a playful massage. And then cross your ankles as you come into seated. And we're going to come straight into downward facing dog. So bring your hands forward. You can first untangle your legs, come onto all 4, tuck your toes under, and then push your bum up and back. First, look towards your hands, press the floor away, and hug the outer edges of your armpits down towards the ground. And then drop your heart towards your thighs, look towards your knees. Feel free to keep your knees bent or straight. Heels heavy towards the ground, even if they are not touching. And we'll start pedaling the feet first, stretching into the calves and into your hamstrings. And even here, as you exhale, draw the ribcage in. We don't want to hang in the shoulders and flare the ribcage towards the ground. Nice sensation of hugging it all in. And then find stillness in your down dog, still with the knees bent or straight. And we're going to lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Take a breath here. Keep pushing the floor away with your arms. And then with your next exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands, coming for a high lunge. So we're going to start with a runner's lunge. Align your feet, make sure that they are train trekking. Squeeze your inner thighs together and then rise up for a high lunge. Arms up towards the sky. Maybe the back knee bend, adjust your tailbone pointing down to the ground. Getting a bit wobbly, you can always step a little closer, the feet together. And then from this position, maybe straighten that back knee. One more breath in here, expanding into your rib cage without flaring it. And then exhale, drawing in while reaching up and forward and back through your limbs. We're going to use the back leg as a loaded spring, coming into warrior 3. So maybe bend the back knee. And we're going to reach forward, wobbling or not. Feel free to keep a micro bend in your standing knee, or even bend a little bit more if the hamstring feels tight today. Keep reaching forward through your arms, back through your back foot. Squeeze your bum. One more breath in here. And then we're going to bring the hands down onto the ground or on blocks if you wish to bring the floor a little closer. For a standing split variation, feel free to bend that standing knee as much as you need so the rib cage connects with the thigh. And then keep kicking your back leg up. Now you might be here, you might be higher. That's perfectly fine. Focus on your foot, bring the weight a little bit more towards the heel. And then feel free to release your head if that feels right today. And then we're going to step that back foot back, coming into runner's lunge. That was heavy on the bum. Step your right foot back, coming into plank. And then lowering down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, elbows close to the rib cage. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Find your breath. In your down dog, find a moment of stillness. Press the floor away strongly through your arms. Hug your tricep in. Knees bent or straight. Check onto your rib cage. Make sure it's not flaring. And then we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up. Three-legged dog. Right knee stays bent or straight. One more breath in here. And then step your left foot forward in between your hands for high lunge. First, align your legs. Make sure that you're squeezing your inner thighs together. Inhale, rise up. Strong legs. Grounding through your front foot. Grounding through your hips. Reaching through the side body. Taking space in the room. And then using that back leg as a loaded spring, coming into warrior 3. Reach forward. Strong standing leg. Reaching forward through your fingertips, back through your right foot. Keep kicking up, your bum is working. And then as you exhale, bring your hands on blocks or on the floor. Left knee bent as much as you need. Keep kicking your right leg up. And then bring that back leg down at the back of your mat. Coming for your vinyasa, place both hands down. Step your left foot back. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Elbows close to the rib cage. Inhale into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. Take about 3 breaths here in stillness, catching up with your breath. And now if you're in child's pose, please meet us in downward facing dog. And we're going to lift the heels high up in the down dog and start tiptoeing forward. You can bend your knees as much as you need to, and I like to use this to stretch the side body, so swinging the hips from one side to the other. As I'm walking the feet forward and the weight is coming fully on the hands. It's a very handstand feeling. Feel your fingers plucking into the ground and working. You bring the heels down whenever you need to. And then inhale, come into half lift. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, come all the way up, arms up. Exhale, Samasthiti or Tadasana. Take a moment here, pressing your feet into the ground, finding your mountain pose. Grounding. Working on our standing balances, we're going to press the feet firmly into the ground, and I like to keep them hip distance apart. Feels a lot more stable. Press the feet down and then feel the energy rising up through your legs, and then ground through your hips, ground through your pelvis. As if you're trying to press it down, you can take your hands on your hips and really press them down. And your bum probably activating. And then lift up from your waist as you inhale, and then exhale and draw the ribcage in. Yeah. And we're going to inhale while bending the knees, lowering the hips a little lower. And then as you exhale, draw in, hips down as you're pressing yourself up into standing full. Never lock your knees, coming into straight legs. One more time. Bending the knees as you inhale. And then as you exhale, the sensation is down even though you're straightening your legs. Yeah, we're going to add to that a little bit. Bend your knees as you inhale. And then as you exhale, drawing everything together and down, we're going to lift the heels up. Inhale here. And with your next exhale, we're going to come up into standing. Keep the heels off. Your bum is working. And then release the heels down. Bend your knees. Coming back into this sort of a chair pose. And again, with exhale, lift the heels up. While your hips stay down. This is getting quite wobbly. Engage your bum. And then straighten your knees, never locking, and lowering down. We'll do one last time. Bend your knees, bringing your pelvis towards your heels. Lifting your heels up. See how that works with your breath. And then keeping the heels up, coming up onto our tiptoes. Your bum is tight. And releasing fully down. Well done. Moving towards Vrikshasana, tree pose. Bring your feet together here. Keep that sensation of grounding, maybe micro-bend in your knees, pressing the heels down, your pelvis down, but rising from your waist, ribcage in. We're going to shift the weight to the left, so your right knee bends. And you can take a low tree pose by just turning the right knee to the side, or lifting it higher up onto your calf, or reaching for your ankle and taking it into your inner thigh. Press one against the other, standing nice and tall, grounding through that standing foot. And then whenever you feel ready, lift your arms up. And feel free to take them a little wider if your shoulders feel tight today. Find your drishti, your gazing point, a spot that is not moving, that you're sort of looking through. And with your next exhale, we're going to draw the hands down. Your right hand come onto your hip. And if your left hand comes over your right knee that is pointing forward. Inhale and lengthen from your waist here, ground through your heel. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Maybe you can even look back and extend your right arm. And then as you exhale, come back into center and release the pose. Take a moment here in Tadasana before we move to the other side. Bring your hands into your waist and then shift your weight to the right so you can bend your left knee, ground through that right foot, and then turn that left knee to the side. Starting with a low tree pose, climbing up onto your calf, or perhaps even reaching up towards your inner thigh if that's in for you today. Squeeze one against the other. Engage your bum, rooting down through your right heel, right foot, and then reaching up from your waist through your arms whenever you feel ready. Find your drishti, a point that is not moving. One more breath. As you exhale next time, draw your arms, your hands down in prayer. Left hand comes into your waist and right hand reaches for your knee that will be pointing forward. So you release that foot from your thigh or from your calf. Inhale and lengthen, and then exhale, twist to the left. Feel free to hold onto a wall if you have a wall nearby, or a chair. If you're balancing with me and want to challenge yourself, you can turn your head back, look over your left shoulder, and maybe even extend that left arm backwards. As you exhale, come back to center and release your pose. Well done. We're going to move towards the ground. As you inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, knees bent or straight. Inhale into half lift, flat back. Exhale, press your hands into the ground, step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to need a block for the following variation, so feel free to take your knees down, grab a block, and place it basically in the middle between your knees and your hands. And to start with, I like to use it on this second highest level. Then tuck your toes under if they are not tucked already and press into your down dog, and you'll be resting the head on the block. Your body stays strong and in control while your head is resting. 3 breaths. Hugging your ribcage in as you exhale. Finding a moment of grounding and of stillness in your down dog. And then with your next exhale, we're going to bring the knees down. Come onto all 4. You can remove that block away to the side. We may use it later. And then come onto your forearms. So make sure that your elbows and your shoulders are in one line. Another option is to take the hands one on top of the other, so you have a sort of a triangle. I find this a little bit less stable, but you can certainly give it a go. It might be comfortable for your body. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, press the bum up, coming into dolphin pose. So take a moment to settle here, but make sure that you're pressing the elbows into the ground so your shoulders come closer to your ears. Keep hugging the tricep in. That would mean outer edges of your armpits towards your thighs. And then press your heart towards your thighs as well. Knees bent or straight. You may want to either let your head hang or look in between your elbows. And then we're going to try to lift the right leg up, and this is certainly optional. Use your bum to lift it up. Release down and over to the other side. It starts burning in the arms.
Focus on your legs for a moment. Yeah, release. And this might be more than enough for you. If you feel like extra challenge, you can walk the feet a little closer towards your elbows. Lift the right leg up. Keep pressing into the forearms down and lift the left leg up. Don't forget to breathe. Release. Bring your knees down. Come into child's pose. Allow your arms to rest on each side of your body. In your child's pose, allow your upper back to expand as you inhale. And relax as you exhale. One more breath in here. And I'll invite you to lift yourself up to seated and come back onto all four. So hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And we'll take a twist here as you inhale, right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, right hand through the gap between your left knee and left wrist. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, thread the needle. One more time. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, thread the needle, and we're going to stay right here. So right shoulder comes down. The top of your head, the hard part above your ear, is pressing into the ground. Make it a little bit more active. And then you can stretch your left arm overhead. Press into your left hand. Press into your right shoulder. Breathe into the back of your heart. And then slowly come back onto all four, switching to the other side. As you inhale, left arm comes up. Follow with your sight. As you exhale, thread the needle. Inhale, come up. And exhale, thread the needle. And again, you're guided by your breath at your speed, at your pace. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, thread the needle for a hold. So either the top of the hand is on the ground or your pinky side. Press the shoulder into the floor. And then when you feel ready, extend your right arm above the head, pressing into your hand. You're getting a little bit more traction here, a little bit more active stretch. Breathing into the back of your heart. One last breath. And then slowly come back onto all four. You can sit on your heels. We have two options ahead of us. You can either repeat head-supported downward facing dog, just like we did before, making sure that your upper body is integrated nice and strong, and then resting your head, knees bent or straight. That's option one. Option two would be a headstand. I will guide you through the individual steps, and I will indicate when you can stop, sort of step by step, so you don't have to make it all the way up, especially if it's your first time or that you are not so used to practicing headstand. I always invite you to use a wall for extra support or security, and please make sure that you have space around yourself and no dangerous furniture to fall on potentially. So either a head-supported downward-facing dog, take it for 5, even 8 breaths if it feels comfortable, and then come down to child's pose, or follow with me for a headstand. Starting by sitting on our heel, grab your elbows, and then bring your forearms on the ground. Interlace your fingers, making a triangle between your hands and your elbows, And we're going to bring the top of the head, the very top of the head, into this little nest.
So your top of the head is where, when you were a baby, you had this little soft spot. That's exactly where you want to feel a little pressure, but press your forearms into the ground so you lift your head a little bit off, like you're trying to take the pressure off. Then tuck your toes under, lift your bum up, and walk your toes towards your elbows. And this is where you may want to stop already, feeling the pressure on the head pressing into your forearms. This might be more than enough for you today. If you want to take it further, bend your knee, bring your knee towards your chest and heel towards the bum. Then bring it back down on the ground, the other leg, heel to bum, knee to chest. Come back down to the ground, maybe one more time on each side, or you can try one leg and then join with the other. If you're doing so, one knee to chest, heel to bum, then come more onto the very top of your toes, so your bum is almost flipping overhead. So you can bring the other leg towards your chest and towards your bum. And then from here, you may either stay here for your 5 breaths, or one leg after the other, or both legs together. Come up into headstand. Keep pressing into your forearms. Engage your core. Squeeze the legs together. Point the toes. Trying to be as tiny as possible as you're going up. 5 breaths in here or less. Come down whenever you need to. 2 more. Find your drishti, your gaze point, something that is not moving. And then slowly, one leg after the other. Come down to the ground and straight into child's pose, maybe with your knees slightly apart. Arms along the body, palms facing up, and your forehead on the ground or on a block. Take a moment to ground through your feet, through your shins. And a moment to observe what has just happened in the headstand, in your body, in your mind. What is the reaction on the inside to this powerful pose? Breathing into the back of your heart, expanding through the back of your rib cage. And then exhaling, relaxing, sinking deeper into the ground. Stay here for as long as you need. And then whenever you feel ready, press your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up. Cross your shins. Flip your legs forward, coming into seated. And we're going to take the feet about 2 steps away from your body and your hands behind about 1 step away, fingers towards your bum. Traction your hands as if you're trying to push them towards your body. Elbows squeezed together, pointing backwards. Open through your chest, push it forward, your heart forward and up. And maybe look diagonally up, opening through your chest. If you wish to take this a little further, feel free to lift your bum up towards the sky, your hips up rather, and look straight up to the sky. Your feet are firmly pressed into the floor. 1 more breath. Exhale, lowering down. Bring your feet together close to your body and then open your knees to the sides. If you feel that your pelvis is tilting backwards, take a blanket or a bolster, put it under your bum, lift your hips higher up. You will be better able to keep your back nice and straight. And then we're going to inhale here and lengthen, and exhale, hinging from the hips, open your elbows, come forward. Keep leading with your heart, shoulders away from ears. And here maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze, turning your senses inwards. One more relaxing breath.
As you inhale, come back up to seated and then release the pose. We will use blocks for the next posture. Sarvangasana, supported shoulder stand. One block is enough. 2 blocks are a little bit more stable. So take as many as you prefer. And we're going to lie down on our back. Your feet are hip distance, relatively close to your bum. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Make space, especially for your upper back. And then grab your blocks, press into your feet, and lift your hips up. Now shuffle the blocks underneath your sacrum, so the hard part of your pelvis under your lower back. And I like to use the second level of the blocks, but feel free to experiment and take it a little higher or lower, depending on what you prefer today. And when you feel nice and stable, you can hold on to the blocks here, or if you're comfortable, bring your arms along your body, palms facing down. And one leg after the other, bend your knees and lift them up. And from here, we're going to take the legs straight up to the sky. Yeah. Toes are pointed or flexed. See what works for you today. For a little bit more activity, squeeze the legs together. And then wherever your arms are, maybe squeeze the shoulder blades together and down a little bit so your chest pops up. This can happen also if you're holding onto the blocks. Nice and steady breath. Inhaling, bringing nourishment into your body through your open chest. Exhaling, activating your parasympathetic system. You're breathing at your pace, knowing you can always exhale through the mouth whenever you need a little reset. And we'll take 2 more breaths. And then with your next exhalation, bend your knees towards your chest and then bring one foot down after the other. When both feet are grounded firmly, press into your heels, lift your hips up, remove your props. And hug your knees to chest. Now you can even bring your nose towards your knees. Make yourself a tiny little power ball. Squeeze everything together. Make yourself tiny. And then as you exhale, release and come into Shavasana. Shavasana or corpse pose, we're spreading the legs wide on our mat, arms in similar angle. Feel free to put blocks or bolsters under your knees, even 2 or 3 if you want to lift your legs a little. And cover yourself with blanket if you have that luxury around yourself, or just taking a good plain Shavasana. That's going to work perfectly fine as well. Take a few more wiggles, remove any flesh from the way, get yourself comfortable. And when you find your position, soften your gaze or close your eyes. Invite stillness into your body. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through your mouth, sigh out. One more time like this, deep, nourishing inhale. Very relaxing exhale, letting go. Feel free to take another one like this, or if you've had enough, gently close your mouth but keep your jaw relaxed. We'll be breathing through the nose. Relax your body. Relax your mind. Take as much time as you need in Shavasana. I recommend you to stay at least for 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.